Hello, welcome to the adventures of some ancient land. Back when places didn't have things such as the interwebs. Like, legally, you shouldn't be allowed to watch this at all, because it doesn't exist yet. But welcome back to Ace Attorney. The plan was to do more Outer Worlds stuff, because I don't want to just drop more games, but I felt like playing this. And I know if I said anything, everyone would be like, hey, you should just play what you want to play. We'll be there anyways. So here I am, performing for you. I don't know the words, so I guess you can't join in too. But what I recall, we're dealing with a English woman who potentially, and most likely, murdered an English man, Dr. Wilson. She's being quite the menace to him, and we were just about to prove that he had been poisoned, but found out that the bottle of carbonated water, as opposed to wine, I guess, was not poisoned. And then some lady showed up and was like, hey, I brought the thing that I was told to Deus Ex Machina later. And then we left on a cliffhanger. You can see where that went. So the cliffhanger resumes. Let's see, make sure this thing's actually set up right. Okay. I haven't gotten any misses yet, but it's only a matter of time. Now we're gonna get shot by the text. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Hello, I'm here now. Well, I understand you're the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! Judicature assistant, and a woman no less!
Alright, Ouchie, calm down.
The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense, and also, where did those other two go?
Ha! You're too late, little girl! Trial's already been concluded.
It hasn't. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency...
I never said guilty or not guilty. I am most grateful. Hi, I'm here now. Might be the first time we had two people on this side of the desk. At least in the games I've played.
Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? Report about something? Written in English? I can't read English. Oh wait, yeah I can. It's Jeziel's Brett's research. The English woman's? After the trial resumed early, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty, same thing really. And borrowed this paper. Wondering if I should have waited a bit longer. I was like, well, I'm not doing anything, so. Also, not what I was expecting her to grab. I figured it would be the cup and they would test it for poison, but nope. It's her research paper. And borrowed this paper. I'll give it back later after the trial. Oh yeah, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? This research, whatever it is, has something to do with this case? I don't know. Read it. I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. It wasn't here. Phones don't exist. Special characteristics of cure and his affections of human subjects. Interesting. froze. Yep, we dropped some frames there. Computer exploded.
Pure air? What's that? I never heard that word before. Time's up! Prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
Too little time for me to read it in detail. I can't read while running. But I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. Think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful, thank you.
Jezzael's report been added to the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. You've long enough, counsel. Cannot detain our English guest any longer. You can. I mean, you detained her from being present. I ask the prosecution defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
Prosecution's made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
You barely said a dang thing. Yunsuke, we're out of options here. Alright, let me read this thing. Poison made from a bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that infected by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed the toxin pit of application is anesthetic. However, a solution for the Hello, Random. Hope you're having a good day. We're not stabbing people. Someone has been shot, though. Solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. No breathing. Don't give a crap if your doctor dies bleeding. So, does that mean... It wasn't me! I'm innocent. In this case, at least. Does that mean the dentist is in on it? I assume they did it there, but... But at the same time... It would have needed to have entered through a wound, which I guess would be his tooth missing. Yunsuke, we're out of options here. Really is our very last chance.
Yeah, I know. Excellency, defense does have new evidence.
That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
You wouldn't mind, perhaps you'd grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, it wasn't. I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. I was just being sarcastic. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Well, I mean... the report, yeah.
Yes!
Miss Jezzael Brett?
I understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University, doing research.
Uh-huh.
Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel?
Toxin knows its cure, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of its deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection! Objection! What complete and utter nonsense? Cure, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
Wouldn't have done? Man, the Japanese language really does make no sense.
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of cure before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It was poison. Poison the man. Hello, Mimikyu. Well, how did we figure out the poison? I'll show you real quick, Mimikyu. The lady that showed up at the last moment during the last episode or trial or whatever found Jeziel's report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett had been researching. It's a poison made from the bark of certain trees and jungles of South America. Hunters of the region used it in ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Minute doses? Minute doses? I can never know how to read that. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Or, I don't know, a tooth being removed. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed the toxin could have application as an anesthesia, which is a word. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused by a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Yeah, she saved us by handing us a report. I thought it would be the cup, and they'd be like, oh yeah, there's traces of poison in this cup. But, nope.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's right. Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify the cure.
Which isn't highlighted this time for some reason.
Why? It's because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What?
That doesn't really make sense. Poison. If you found anything other than carbonated water in that glass, I think they would be like, huh, that's weird. Probably the type of killer that knows that Japan doesn't have the ability to identify it. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, who is sitting at that bench right there, Ryu, now is not the time. Cure has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. Seems that reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. Minute. Also, hello, Phoenix. Hope you're having a good day.
To lace their arrows?
Report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. It was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. Well, surely they would have had to have detected something, right? I don't know. Oh yeah, Mimikyu, did you see that the sleepy blob is different now? You're not on Discord, so of course you didn't. I don't know how it works either, but they... I don't know, is the poison invisible? They should have detected something, is all I'm saying. Claims animals shot by arrows laced with the cure suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? What is that on top of the Sleepy Bob? That's Cassie. From Bug Tales. Or Bug Fables. Whatever you call that game. Don't bug the tails.
Well, that's what we named them, at least. That was at the very end, because I missed that side quest, but you can get a little partner that helps you in battle. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? I don't know what you're talking about.
Objection! Objection! Trumpery! These assertions are utter trumpery, and I don't have a trumpet. Stop with. If the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously I would have noticed a disturbance like that.
I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Cure was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters the poisoned person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all their strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all his strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects go largely unnoticed.
I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
Full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation, no breathing. At least this Englishman didn't die bleeding. Wait. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous!
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be in living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Cure poison. An updated autopsy report, but no one would ever have one of those. You're suggesting this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection! Objection! This is all very convenient, isn't it? Hither an unknown poison from which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense!
Ahem, if I may.
And all these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must have been—
Shut up! Shut up! It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
Steal another's honor hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them? I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection! Objection! Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What rules are being broken?
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yeah, that's me. May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? That's definitely some sort of liquid texture. It was in the glass that she stole, obviously. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a partial comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers!
Where'd she get the second cup?
Wait, what are you doing?
Combination. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Why are they dots? Like, yeah, obviously the glass wasn't poisoned. She would have died too. Goodness, whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned. Well, you're dying. So, no cure. The bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? Haha, you look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course. That is the simple truth. Do you even have eyes? We'd still see your eyes. Thank you for presenting the finds of my research so concisely here in the Grand Venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. Think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yeah, dear lady. We're most grateful for all the assistance you've given.
This doesn't make sense. Had to have been poisoned that bottle. So how? How did she swallow the whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Kazuma, please. Nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade. Will make for an interesting conversation the next party I attend in London, where I go about how I, murdered a guy. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? Doesn't there? There can't have been, because otherwise she would have kneeled over dead. Come on, Ryusuke. We have all the clues now. The bottle of water. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryusuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now.
Well, yeah. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me, but sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Until it's as dark as the uniform and your ways of the world.
Oh, is that what this collar's supposed to represent?
That was a gearless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Counsel. What? No, the answer is there wasn't stinking poison in the bottle, it was in the cup. Well. Fine.
Culprit did procure poison Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
Objection!
That's not what the question was, though.
Fool, are you blind? No possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
Need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer's in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Like, I don't know, the stinking cup.
Vince truly intends to assert this claim? Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Well, alternatively, it could be that it was through his tooth. And she doesn't have a wound, so drinking it may not actually be deadly. But it went through his tooth. I hope we're not gonna have the detective drink it, because whatever problem he has in his lungs is probably a wound. I don't think she could have soaked the bullet in poison and then shot him with it after he had already died, though. Well, I'd assume it would have to go through their bloodstream. Gotta try the book first.
Yes!
Answer this riddle. It's right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection! That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in entirety by the court. Directors of the Pertinent Section Council. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle? I don't remember which one that was on. I think it was the second page. Special characteristics. I'm not a doctor, Mimikyu. I've been hearing a lot about this cure-air poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, sounds as though ingenious hunters, not indigestion hunters, those are called cooks, have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So even led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. But surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel, no, that would be madness! Who would ever eat poison as a form of partying? You know, who would do drugs? We only have carbonated water here. I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. Poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Hello, Flame Rat. Hope you're having a good day. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When it's written like this. When the cure enters the body through the open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poison effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research, you knew Cure's special characteristics, and you knew you could take a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. Even though your heart is a wound, you meddling little... The bird moved! Rapscallion! Is there a Japanese word for that? Well, Ryunosuke, turns out... you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
The hat moves!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how possibly...
Shut up! So, the ill-bred little puppy is a new toy to play with? Some facts you read in a book that I wrote. Afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy, and only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Oh, the bird went back to normal. Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? Even your brain managed to deduce Kira is safe to ingest. It seems likely its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of gastric sucus? Oh, yeah, well, those are words. Of course. Gastric suckers. What are they? So this lethal poison is completely harmless when drank. Or drunk. Professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
That's right.
Good gracious! That's wrong. That's basic science. Science even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? I do hate it when these games are like, what? Like, throwing you for a loop, but there's no loop to be had here. We already know why this would be the case. He had an open wound in his mouth. Someone pulled out his tooth. And he was told not to eat anything. Order in the court. Logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this cure poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a roach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this? Welling up inside me. Hello, Gum. Hope you're having a good day. Never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. So intense. Almost rage-like. More than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Objection! Yes, perfect. I don't think so, Miss Jeziel Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. As we know, this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curate?
Take that!
Take that! What was that voice? As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Toxic effects of cure are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. I'm also surprised. Miss Brett, you acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. Childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so... adjective. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. How does that... The Englishwoman, she just smashed that bottle! And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder! I don't... What does that solve for you? Hello, Midori. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, she just destroyed vital evidence. That proves her guilt right away. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much water from that broken ball as possible, at once. You're wasting your time. The delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ha ha! How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. Afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not.
You.
Let us not forget, still have some very compelling evidence left in town. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, dear lady?
That's right, and really look in this photograph. It makes me laugh. Clear as day, isn't it? Poor professor was sitting with his back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little school.
Objection!
Objection! No, you killed the victim that day, using Curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo, sorry for using a full name like that, for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. Hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly!
Ouchie, come on.
You have nothing to support your wild claims. The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by that menace of a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Don't you need like a motive or whatever? Ryu didn't have a reason to kill the guy.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her! But now, is she really gonna get away with it? Wait, she destroyed the evidence was obscene!
Come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. I'm utterly useless.
What? What do you mean?
Lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
Told me before your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head.
No, you probably did notice that. It was just so ridiculous that you didn't care. Slight difference. I mean, your best friend has his stupid bandana flowing in the wind at all times. I don't think a swan head is really all that surprising. But think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
Every smell? What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Can I remember colors? In a black and white photograph?
It is vital to his character, but it is still ridiculous that it's always flowing in the wind when there's no fans in this courtroom.
Somewhere in the vibrant memory, it's the same scene in my head. Would there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer?
Well, yeah, there's a clue.
Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue.
Aha! You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryu? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence!
Alright, I can't wait! Been bugging me for some time, for a while, that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. Here's somewhere the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
The blood on the steak? The fact that the steak is there at all? Like, he wasn't eating it. Why is it on his side?
Take that!
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this.
Oh, I forgot I was in this scene. Yeah? What is it?
Ugh, still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed.
Yeah, Godo wouldn't be able to handle this one. He can't see red.
As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection! Wait a minute, where are you going with this?
Shut up! Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in the photograph, and I laughed, with my own eyes that day. I saw on the wooden base of the plate the steak was served on, was a splattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph, and laugh, and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way the blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Yes. The blood to have made it onto the plate, that implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite of the professor, as you were. Jeziel Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection! This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense.
Court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing.
Hold it! It was me. This could be the moment that my entire career of the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean...
Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence to the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak as you have been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak and ate it. I took the steak the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of just ice. Which is fitting because the steak was cold by the time I took it.
Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. Must examine it, now!
Inspector! Or wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who that was, so... Hey, how's it going? I'm here. Sorry for the delay. It was in my car. Here's what you ordered. Do we have cars at this point? We have guns, so I assume we have cars. Here's what you ordered. The steak.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. There's no blood. No blood. No blood anywhere.
But no, that's... impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it.
Well, yeah, it's flipped around, right?
So there on the table behind the professor, there was blood on the side of the plate. Oh, hi, I'm back.
Yeah, someone ate this piece of the steak.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Oh, the bird! You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Why are you even in this country?
I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace of the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. And this let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. Do promise my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Ha! Sorry-looking steak reveals all the facts too clearly. Sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again. Be my guest.
Plate of steak's been added into the court record.
Yeah.
Was it the plate I saw? I thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? And to commit a murder where poison couldn't be tested for. I feel like their relations are close enough that they could probably just be like, hey, could you, like, send us a way to test this poison in this case, real quick? Like, we'll wait. I've lost. Ryunsuke. Not over yet. Not until the final gap. Alright, let's look at this steak. Huh? What in the world's this? I think it's a Koban form. The hallmarks from the Hoei area, I believe. So this isn't her steak. She swapped the steak with the old man's steak. Which means that the steak that he was eating was actually the steak that has blood on it. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yeah, apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. I'd eat it. This is the first time today there's been a talk of a Hoei Koban. Didn't expect this plot point to come up again. Heard pearls from before swine, but I've never heard of a bullion in a bullion. Aha! Puns! But I probably messed up because I don't know how to pronounce these words. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary though. This means... Emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. And a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. But I have a feeling that's gonna come up again in a different case. This is the symbol of La Carnival, is it? It's a bull, but bulls are technically cows. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. But if I look forward, I can't slam my head on the desk, because that's technically down. Also, how was I looking over at you if my head was down on the desk? Oh, whatever. Even myself, really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I already did, but... Evidence requested by the defense has not been shown problematic in any way. I presume a further examination of evidence in this trial would be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me, for sure. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Your Excellency, please wait. The plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that reveals a shocking truth. Objection! Only thing shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. I mean, it's pretty good. Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? Not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. Yeah, I don't care. Sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. Not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I can at least respect the judge for that. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, isn't it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you'll now clearly show the court what you were alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? That's under the thing. Oh, do I have to listen to this again? Okay, well. I don't mean what is it, I mean what's it doing there? Okay, I guess I didn't have to examine it myself. Hang on. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Got it! Got it! What is that voice now? Good gracious, that's... Koban? What on earth? A Toei era one at that.
Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it?
Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. Under the coin under the meat could have simply been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of destruction.
Objection? Oh, thought it was the other one. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. Rare Hoeko Band just happens to be hidden underneath this piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to the Great Britain right now.
He's right. Can't be a coincidence.
That's pretty extreme, though.
Your Excellency.
Yes, Counsel?
Rare Hoeko Band just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. This turns out to be irrelevant to the case. I'll steal my best friend's line, and I'll give up my lawyer job right now. Objection! You're not a lawyer. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. You invited me.
Perhaps, little boy, you should just realize it's you who is relevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? I'm the most relevant person in existence. I'm the protagonist, dang it. I demand satisfaction. Point is, it's essential we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak.
The owner?
Yeah, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. Owner of the Koban was found underneath the beefsteak is...
Lost a Hoei-era gold Koban coin the time of the incident. Wow, what a convenient story.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer, the Oniratsute, Kiryu Korakuda. Kiri, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Your name is Brett. You're a letter away from just being called Brat. His name is Kurio. And? It's apparently a cucumber, too. Ah, yes. Old Manor testified earlier alongside the military surgeon, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency.
Remember him saying that he was up to something with the Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. You busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure.
This isn't an exact flashback. He was standing beside the sergeant when he was testifying this.
Indeed, Hoei Karakaban, my prize coin! I'm still here, by the way. Just in the other room.
Then this Hoei Karakaban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection! No, please. Why would Korekuda's-san's command be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense! Yeah, that's what which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuda back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Ah, I've heard the term before, but I never bothered looking it up. Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Why the sergeant? Why the moment's delay?
Can't believe you'd come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find it's a key element to the case.
There are way too many people on the stand. How did they get a stand this large? What's this all about? Why have I been called upon again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for my little baby Ido? My son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Although he seems pretty calm right now.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear as false witnesses. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in trice. A worthless, withering antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun is set on this Rasute shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Korakuda, something's come to light that requires your clarification. Is this your coin? Or is your Rasute memory served? Have you... Oh. Oh no! He's been stabbed!
The baby is terrified. Oh no, my prop has been stabbed in the foot. Does the baby not want to pull that knife out?
Yes, that's it! The one! The very one! The one very exact one, that is! The resplendent pontificus holy treasure my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be! As I thought. Young man, enlighten this cryptid old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking the seasoned meat juices.
The sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? That's where you found it?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means... somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. The sergeant stole it! He was gonna steal from this old man. Well, now he shouldn't feel bad about getting stabbed in the foot.
Somebody concealed my Hoey treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconciliable thing?
It was me. Excuse me. Could I say something?
You just did, but yeah, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosenaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. Secret undercover operation.
La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected.
That's why you were sent undercover, is it?
Yes, that's what I just explained. I took the job of a waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief who worked the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already a scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but... the identity of the person who stole and hid the Kodaku's Koban is all too clear.
What? What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the speckled scoundrel that stole the Korakuta's Koban and hid it under the steak? Well, obviously, this guy.
Take that!
Obviously. It can only be you. Sergeant Ayesanoza.
What? How? How dare you monster!
Monster?
I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? Seriously accusing me of all these crimes, Cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido's the mastermind behind all this.
Don't blame your baby. You would push the blame when your crimes on your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Where'd the others go? Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Well, his spine is broken. Over and out. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant Ayesanoza, preparing to stand down the Supreme Court, sir. No, you were right, Mimikyu, it was the baby, except it wasn't. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. But it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant.
Place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. Not renaissance. I can't read. I'd enjoy the chomping my way through a good steak at the same time.
Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable.
And your target that day was the old man in his caban.
Yes.
Sir, he was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
Veritable phantom thief you are.
I was set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Kaboom!
Yeah, when the professor was shot.
I knew that the police conducted a research and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I'd know too. I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. So many dots. Why so many dots?
This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. Quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. After the caban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant, certainly appeared to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. No, it's not. Guys, come on.
Of course it is. Hiding a corner under a lump of meat. Sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Well, oof. As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, is beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well, now that all questions concerning this witness testimony have been answered, see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone.
Object. I object.
And good day.
Runescape, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Didn't quite work out what exactly... something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
That's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? Think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. Trial will be over. Yeah, exactly. That was...
Wait, Miss Brett? What is it now? I'm afraid just one last time. Something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection! What nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Runescape?
Yeah, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction.
Don't need to see evidence, counsel. Miss Brett's truly are contradictory. Where's the evidence to prove it?
Hey. Hello, Sonosuke. Thank you so much for subscribing for 40 months in a row.
I guess it would be that one, yeah. Because you can't see the knife on the other one.
Take that!
Photograph a print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred.
It's interesting to play a steak you can see on the victim's table.
Steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes? Go on.
More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
Extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. See, you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, Counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks here.
Ah!
Does the coin itself not prove that it wasn't her steak? That it wasn't her plate? Looks like Miss Brett has realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating something without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
But what is your actual point?
Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry.
Shut up! Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, of course. This will all be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. As I...
Had enough, you irritating little speckled samurai relic.
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Ha!
Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks on the steak have for her.
RuneScape, do you know where you're going with this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, now at last, it's all come together. Mysterious teeth marks on the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly...
The shut up is the only bubble that was still in English? Good.
Evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. It was Dennis.
I accept these teeth marks to take our little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. What exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yeah, I believe these barbaric teeth marks on the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Shut up! Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? Wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... what?
And just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence doesn't exist.
Objection! This is absurd. Trial's run several hours already. Like, how many hours now? 4? 5? Say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have.
I don't. There's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person's willing to submit a piece of evidence I'm referring to, it'll solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well, I have a feeling this will be my last request of defense in this trial. You said that 3 requests ago. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? I'm torn between these two.
Like, this guy's the perfectionist, so he would want to take all of the evidence possible, but I don't think you would see that as relevant to the case. But this guy wanted the coin, so it would be under... I do have 4 chances, but what's your point? Let's see. Alternatively, it could be her, but she only took the cup. So... I don't really see how that would be relevant to the case, if that makes any sense. But... I guess it would be him, because he's the only one I could think of that he would take not only one person's stake, but everyone's. Yeah, the baby did it. The baby took the stake. I guess I'll try him. We do have 4 chances. If it isn't him, it has to be Nosa.
Take that!
Answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yeah. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's... No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention's been focused on this stake with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin, because he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? What was the stake you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreigner gentle ladies if she mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! Plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Objection. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. People suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire, but murder isn't? Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the 2 stakes over. Oh no, that is what you're suggesting. You did switch the plates!
Well, after it happened, the, bang. When I saw the civilian been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hit the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. And she didn't notice this? With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! So I was slightly wrong. I thought she switched the stakes because she knows the blood stain. But what was her plan if someone saw the blood mark before then? Maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Clearly everyone's blundering around is just as much as fault here. However, fear not, prosecutor.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that's all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes! Yeah. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, and the plate it was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yeah? Early in this trial, you told the court this. You said you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. I didn't remember he did that.
To preserve evidence, you had taken both. Ah!
Don't bite your mask. That's correct.
And please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot.
Shut up!
What could that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat can't have the slightest bearing on the case.
Objection. No, you're not wiggling your way out of this time, lady.
I beg your pardon.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me.
Reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Just thinks he remembers. Quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. Beside the plate that was on the table directly behind Mr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound in the victim's chest.
Still doesn't really explain why the steak was in front of him, though. They haven't even bothered explaining that. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let's not prolong this any further. Inspector will show the evidence to the court. That the beef steak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yeah, about that, I ate it. Yes, sir. Well, I don't think she can drop the bloodstain. Although, honestly, they should stop putting things near her. Here's the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Hey look, a giant bloodstain.
Bloodstain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo to have shot the victim.
It can't be!
No, it can't be cow blood. Why would cow blood be off the plate? A gentlewoman wouldn't have splattered cow blood all over the place. That would be rude.
There's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. Sure, everyone knows by now who that person is.
Not me, it was you.
That's right, Miss Jeziel Brett. It's you!
The hat's gonna fall off or fly away? Oh no, it died.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no.
It's alive. Where'd the little bird come from? Where are the little birds coming from? Oh, little blackbird. Well, she ascended. Considering her crime, I don't think that's the direction she'd go. And now there are birds here. Why do you get the blackbird?
Please excuse my little outburst and all of my little chickens. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, where did those chickens come from? I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Very well. Gladly, Your Excellency.
He's the judge. He should get all of them.
It was I who took the professor's life using Cure. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. Professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison be found in his water. Because Cure is unheard of here in Japan. Yes, of course I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only need to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and all be over. I'd place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he'd been dining alone, and then leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose?
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair so that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
Plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on an innocent man.
I happened to know the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
It's more of a dress, really, but I was right, there were 2 guns.
Yes.
Really, they could have just hid it in her hat. Like, really, a gun should have fallen out of the hat instead of chickens. Then I got finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you're sure I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, bang.
That's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead.
Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo was the culprit and apprehended him. Because, you know, first come, first serve and all that. That's how waiters work. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor in his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson where he picked up the gun. Mr. Perfect didn't notice that he was facing the wrong way when he apprehended him.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
It was more than a misdemeanor. He also didn't tell us why.
Your Excellency,
Yes?
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you. If you bring a gun, though, be warned I still have your chickens captive.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. Hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo.
And we never saw her eyes as she faded into darkness. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
I mean, this can't be. Ouchie does not lose. Not the likes of this rookie student.
You better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah, Ryusuke Naruhodo. Yeah? This insult to the Ouchie family name will never be forgotten.
It was forgotten 10 minutes from now. It can side with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside to make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Why are you bringing out your sword? How did you reach all the way over there? A 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo. Why are you talking as if... as if you were the one who is Naruhodo? 1 second. This trial, the Supreme Court of Japan, is not a barbershop. Will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in this country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, present an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it's only been a few short decades since our country opened its door to the wider world. But the Western's idea of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. Soon we'll even make games about this stuff. Yeah, but how would you do that across the entire courtroom? I feel sure that science will soon bring a new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. Like, I don't know, some sort of fingerprint system for guns. Ah, that's ridiculous. Even though that would have cracked this case wide open. New future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sogi? Yeah? After this trial, you're set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire, where you'll most likely be murdered. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you're able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. The mission? I don't know what you're talking about, but I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why'd you look so grave all of a sudden?
Ah. Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke.
Oh, yeah? That's me.
In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that on.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Wait, what? But I don't actually have a lawyer job. Oh, hey, I'm behind the thing now.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. Hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke,
not guilty.
Confetti. Cherry blossom. Wait, who's throwing the cherry blossoms? Like it's Gumshoe in the future. But who is it now? I'll assume it was our bestie. Court is now adjourned. Gumshoe with a time machine. I'll accept that time travel. He goes back in time to every court case and just throws confetti. Or cherry blossoms, and then he leaves. Like, who was that guy? Oh well.
Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
And I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
I'll be dead soon. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. Gumshoe's ancestor wouldn't be here, though. Right? Also, wouldn't they still be Gumshoe? Show me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon, all your hard work's pulled off. Oh, that was the wrong person.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo's innocence.
He absolutely would ruin history in some way. But I'm not entirely sure how. Or maybe he would cause history. Like he would go back in time to save Edgeworth's dad and save Edgeworth from going down the path he did. And he would be the reason that the power went out in the elevator. But that would be awful, and Gumshoe would never forgive himself. But time travel's a crime, Gumshoe. And I don't want Ace Attorney time crimes. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result, you too, you know? Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! Oh, rude. If I hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yeah, of course. Where is he, by the way? Sure hope he's not dead. Why is it question marks? I know this is a flashback, but we knew her name. Speaking of Mikotoba...
Ah, there you are. I believe this is the right voice this time. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it's I shall be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yeah, you mentioned that before. You actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Or is it Yummy University? I'm gonna start saying Yummy, because that's better.
Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study in forensic medicine in Great Britain.
Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Yes, exactly. Those days we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together? In the Hada Clinic?
Never heard you mention that before. Well, that was a long time ago now. I was a different person. Besides, it's your turn. That's okay. Great Britain's a magnificent country. Leads to the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, hats. I mean law. But I mean, did you see that lady's hat? Like, there's gotta be some science in that somewhere. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will, until it becomes irrelevant in like 20 years. I'll learn all that I can.
I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. Blade shows me where I need to go, and how many heads I need to chop. Cuts down anything that stands in its way.
Yeah, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me, what happened to the woman? To Jeziel Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, sir. Well, you see... Not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Grizzly's gotta face the trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all.
She will be leaving Japan in a very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Jeziel Brett will not appear in the court again in this country, I'm certain of that.
What? Why not? Well, I mean, it doesn't even matter if she does. She already admitted to the crime. You don't need a trial for that. Matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, hey. Inspector Hosonaga.
The hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. Must congratulate...
But what's all this about consular jurisdiction?
Interrupting me. Cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? Can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice?
The British Council Court will be her case. Will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
Why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought the courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes. In normal circumstances, you're right. That is, so long as it's not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments. They can invoke a court like that.
No, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our government's making a secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. Now, Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. For that young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded we hand over custody of Miss Brett. Obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. All we're going to change from now on. Can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era has been heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. I couldn't help but get flashbacks to another case we had with someone who eventually had her comeuppance by, I don't know, poisoning someone else and then becoming a ghost. Yes, change is coming. We're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink that's not poison.
But Professor...
You're right. No time for gloomy faces. Even though your friend is dead. Sorry for bringing it up. He's celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun. In that case, why suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective, Ozanaga, aren't you?
Let's not worry about the details for now. They couldn't program in another waiter. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none, and I'll like to see my dead friend's body.
I shall go attend the paperwork Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yeah, thank you. Goodbye. Jeziel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. Never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Is he really that much of a menace? Kazuma.
Yes, Ryo?
I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today.
Ha ha! I didn't do a dang thing.
Not inaccurate.
You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. I just gave you small pointer tips when the game didn't really need me to.
Your skills made a difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. Couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me. All the tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I hope my descendants don't either. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean? That's the point.
Listen, Ryu. Do you know that the most crucial weapon... What the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law? No, that doesn't work. Slappy hands? To slap the table? A university collar pin?
No. The ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Unless they're being, unless they're maybe blackmailing you with a walkie-talkie assassin. But who would ever do that?
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. Or some sort of magical ring that lets me see the telltale signs of someone lying. But you have to make a choice on what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending something. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner, maybe several. Being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then. Well, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client. That'll be my ninja way. I'll be the ninja of the courtroom.
Just look at the day's trial. I'm a student lawyer with a precious little experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well, I
Face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
Something I want to ask you, actually. Ryu. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. What is going to interrupt us now?
Ah, you're still here, are you?
Oh, Inspector Hosonaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Well, we were rudely interrupted. Let's pick up this conversation again later, after I'm dead. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory, and probably not your last.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Haha, how could I? Yeah, that too.
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikatova, this girl, Sasato, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still.
Wow, rude! Even your memory of him was shocked to hear that.
Because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through the trial.
I mean, it was only because he picked up the stakes that you got through it.
But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize, but everyone else kind of assumed right away, just how much it would change my life. And
Defense debut! The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band? What? Unbreakable Speckled Band. Like my favorite song.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
Wait, is this
In
Sherlock?
time,
I
there
mean,
came from
Herlock?
the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe
Speckled
this
Band.
is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder,
that's
its
neat.
fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Why is it a sneak? Are we on a boat? 9th of January. On board the steamship Buria.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
No!
Pray, do excuse me.
Do excuse me.
The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way.
It was merely ripped open.
This would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
What is with
Almost
this?
certainly with the ink from this upset bottle.
It's not upset.
A Russian word.
I have a...
So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
What is this magic gun you have?
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
And with X-ray vision?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
What is wrong with your face?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be necessary. You see,
Won't be
in less than
necessary.
5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
Is it me?
What? Don't be absurd.
What's wrong with this guy's face?
Is
He's
murder.
got, like,
and it's
striped
gotten
burns.
locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is
Paper thin. In fact, this paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
Oh, wait,
I'm
that's
a
our
great British
detective guy.
consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes.
We couldn't use his
I
official
presume-
name, so
You must have heard of me.
he's Sherlock Sholmes. I want his magic gas gun. My head is still throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Hello there. Good morning. Wait, I can't move. I've been chained up again. What the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, Oh, this guy. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. Do not believe how you could wake up. How you could wake up, not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Ha ha ha, you found me. We found you. Now you pay. Criminal. How long you hiding that tiny wardrobe, Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crime. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. Only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, it's you. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Sato! Wait, what? What did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. Well, sorry, Mimikyu. What? Hang on, I'm taking his place. Kazuma's body was discovered not long ago. Right there. Here in this very cabin. That was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please. Do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. We were best friends. And he had so many death flags that it made Mia look like she was still not a ghost. These handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma's life? Answer me, please. No. Yeah, I mean, he is technically over a C when he died, so you were technically correct. Kazuma, it was just 2 short weeks ago. Hey, I'm here! I'm gonna ignore that those paper signs are still there. What? Ominous cutlery there. Yeah, you're currently over a sea, just not overseas.
You sure about this? Won't we get in trouble?
Ha ha ha! Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study?
It's really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way the Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case on the floor, I was gonna die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. Really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. I was even less of a man than you look.
Hey! Aw, that's rude. I thought I'd broken every bone in my body.
Well, it's about 50 days till we dock in Great Britain, and about 2 since I'll die. I think find yourself into my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
Yeah, I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away.
No, but if she knew that what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. That's only you and I know about this, at least until we land.
I suppose.
Anyway, about time that the steward's supposed to come and clean the cabin. No, it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside a traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yeah, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it.
Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something with a piece of paper?
What?
Then I can stick it over the wardrobe door since once you're inside. I don't know. Why do I have to write it?
I've only been at sea for about 15 days. How could this have happened? We're supposed to be going on this adventure to England together.
We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
No, I'm not a murderer.
Duh, you said it before. You said you admit everything about your crimes.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
Sato. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. There's something I would like to ask of you, too.
Yeah, those eyes. Looks like she's ready to destroy me.
Yeah, like, he couldn't have done it either, because he was locked in the wardrobe. There's also clearly a vent right there.
Nightmare's getting worse by the minute. Suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened.
Finally get to the adventure part.
Has he really been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? These handcuffs. They think I did it? Think I'm Kazuma's killer?
When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via the porthole window, and the bolt in the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit could not have escaped these 4 walls.
What?
Well, I mean, they might still be here. Put it another way, the culprit could only have been someone inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation?
This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
You still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Sasato, you have to tell me.
Cause of death is still undetermined.
They don't know how he died?
Yeah, there's a way to leave, like, right there. The ship's doctor's examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted on our next port of call.
Assuming that means there's no obvious external signs of injury, then.
That's true, yes. Ah, another poison incident.
Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone kill Kazuma?
Presuming that's something you know the answer to better than anyone.
Please.
What if you say you were here in the cabin after all? Well, yeah, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Sasato arrived at the cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside... there was Kazuma, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me.
His sword's on the left there on the ground. I saw it when it panned over.
Told you everything that I know, so now it's my turn to ask you a question. Yeah, okay. My head feels so heavy, it's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board the ship, Naruhodo? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh yeah, I'm afraid that's true. 2 weeks since I left Japan now. I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. How could you have occupied Kazuma's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. Because we're besties. He actually asked you, but why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. Because we're besties. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me into England with you?
He knew English earlier, but I don't think he would also just conveniently know Russian. An idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of the Incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself.
Well, yeah, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that.
But I never really thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London's at the spearhead of cultural development. It's the center of the world in many ways. Can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then...
Then what?
Nothing. Forget it.
You can't be vague, you're gonna die soon. Kazuma he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yeah, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. Look at his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Sasato, I'm sorry we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid becoming guilty by association. Yeah, that's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact.
I was gonna say, that's exactly what he said.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yeah. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma was killed? Well, yeah. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. for some reason my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Sasato, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. The trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. And we were drugged. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why'd this have to happen? Can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. Can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. Now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna find exactly what happened here. I'm gonna work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to excuse me. Hi-ya! She flipped me. Like a bag of rice. What the? That was a Susanoo takedown. A Susanoo what? What martial art form is that? Also, how am I this high up? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? Successfully defend yourself in a court of law. Although, apparently, from that flip you couldn't defend yourself from a court of fall. You expect me to present some conclusive evidence? I have to get Sasato to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Well, I mean... Yeah, Yes! Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? I don't know how I have this. Oh yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. If I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Didn't that... Sholmes guy figure that one out? Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you're sprawled hopelessly on the floor... Shouldn't it be helplessly? I can see why Kazuma always thought so highly of you. Thank you, Sasato. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Kinda upside down. Why is there just... Yeah, see, there's a sword right behind the text box. And there's like some kind of bone with a chef hat on the floor. In the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating here at least. Thank you, so you finally believe me? I'm sorry, no. I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Conjuring trick? I don't know how to summon a proper lunch, let alone something to put a sign up. What does she think I am, a magician? That's in a different game. For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Sasato. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. Wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. I don't have those. Anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. I will avenge your death. Ah, I am still here, by the way. What do you think this is? Looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever this thing was, it appears to have been broken clean in two. like it was cut in half. Glass is such a beautiful color. It was like a cute little Netsuke fastener from kimono outfit. I'm sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him. Would he? And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? Sort of a brick-like hue. Yeah, you're right. It's the color of a brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Sasato? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yeah, that's not good. Suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo? I'm sure you're careful to look all around using bleh and bleh, aren't you? Let's investigate all the corners of this cabin. Yeah, let's do that. Suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Has it? I feel like I was already... Okay, whatever, who cares. Books have fallen over on the shelf, look. Toppled the same way. What's this? Statue of a god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yeah, it's almost as if the whole shelf's been ransacked. Everything mown down at once. I wonder if perhaps it was Kazuma doing this morning sword training, do you think? Yeah, I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Maybe these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Don't do that. That's messing with the crime scene. But now there are some books missing. Busy thoroughly, but can't find anything out of place. Oh, okay, not the table. Nothing on this table at all. Plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yeah, it's strange. That's why when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma. No. That's not what that means. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Sasato. I ate on the table, of course. It begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right, so he didn't touch it. Meant the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma spent last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible to go hungry for one murderous day. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it was going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? Criminal is asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. Stop. I have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? I noticed man killed. Of course not. Now back in corner of room and make silent. I say no more to you. You make me sick. And I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. Seemed a little flustered. Japanese word for justice. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. On the ground. His calligraphy is always a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on the ship? Hey, that was his idea. Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. I hope we get his sword. Kazuma's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yeah, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. We should bring his soul with us then, right? I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his ship. Suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yeah, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on the vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah, yes, I see it says "this way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight I should have realized the foreign crewmen wouldn't be able to read. Why are they Russian, by the way? I was turned over and over, and then I was tossed to the floor here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than the Sasato takedown. But why are the crewmen Russian? These are the rules for passage and travel aboard the SS Buria. Such a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? I'm not a dog. Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. But also rude. Look at the door. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy. Just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. Ah yes, a locked door case, as it were. No wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once a detective novel. Cooper used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across the outside of the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabinet's frame were made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. Be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Where dear Kazuma would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. Didn't even make it to his destination. Looks as though his last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He's in the middle of writing when the incident had happened? See what it says. Could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Ha! Man get flipped over again. I blink in amusement. It's out of the question. What? Kazuma may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. You read it. Poor Kazuma. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. And in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? The guy's dead. I can't look at the ink spot. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in the ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote the message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma. No doubt he was in terrible pain. Almost unbearable to imagine it. What does that even say? Suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? Sorry, partner. I can't read your writing. That kind of proves it wasn't him. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo. What? Then what language is it? Pains me to say, to admit it, but I don't know. Gibberish? Not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Hang on, I'm hearing some dogs barking and barking, so I'm gonna get up for 1 second and refill water before we continue. But I'm kind of wondering what they're barking at. They sound pretty panicked. Be right back. I have returned. They were barking at someone coming in to drop stuff off. But nothing important. Anywho, move this back a little bit. This is, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell or summon servants. Really? Sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. Well, it didn't ring a bell. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Nothing wrong with his bed? Some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo? I think living isn't quite the right description. More like slowly decaying. Oh no, I suppose not, although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage on your own secret hideout. Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yeah, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps so rain and spray doesn't find it their way into the seas or when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose, maybe that's it. Who's that, and how did he get there? Why did he just suddenly appear? Wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You noticed the man too, have you? No idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious, and tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreigner friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. Something very unusual about him. Investing in Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? Can't tell. Well, in that case, I simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining, or does Sato look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect you noticed already, but just in case, press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sight and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Shh, there's a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ah, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? Looks like he's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Afghana what? Sorry? What? And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There's no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when Barrybone, occupant of this very cabin, discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now, nothing deceives these eyes. Were you deceived in thinking I was Russian? 'Cause I'm clearly Japanese, or at least of that country. Just to be clear, you aren't talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. I'm ignoring the fact that you would clearly be speaking Japanese here. Do you see another one in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma. What? And you're plotting a revolution, too. I mean Sasato. Shameful behavior, Naruhodo. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way I... Why? Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came to your head.
Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that,
Well, to be honest, not much. The ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. More plain observation.
Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. See, and more often than not, I'm right.
I don't think you introduced yourself.
Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes! Not to be confused with some other, less creative name.
So it's really you, the actual Sherlock Sholmes?
So, why did they have to change his name? Is his name not just, you know, free reign at this point? I mean, maybe that's just the joke, but... I feel like his name is probably just free for anyone to use, right? Yeah, same with like Frankenstein, Dracula, and all that stuff. It may be a joke, it also just may be his actual name. The very same. The inimitable actual Sherlock Sholmes.
You know this man, Sasato? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodo, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him and his nonsense gun. What planet have I been living on then? Must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? So, you're a great detective, are you? Alright, what was your name again?
Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, I see, you're German? Herlock, was it?
No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. It's easy to remember. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh, yes. Randis magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah, yeah, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Although this one says Sherlock. Is that a typo? You're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then?
Indeed I am!
And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective?
Make no mistakes, I'm not the poor deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backwards.
Backward?
My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in a magazine.
You have a biographer, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Mine goes to the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London.
He's dead. Dr. Wilson?
I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, at this very moment I'm returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of the cursed royal crown.
Really? Can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not.
Yeah, same. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form.
A science? Really?
The astute observer notices even the most subtle reactions in his subject. A
furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a ring that goes in their eye and tells them these things, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furs in the skin. All these things are data. Right. The trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. Hang on, I think Penny wants in now. Penny did, in fact, want in. A simple deduction based on her yapping at the door. How can he look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction, and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about the particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow, I've deduced everything. Who do you think discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Sholmes was on board. Should I have a separate counter for how many times he says his own name? And the handcuffs seem to be excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Break the counter. I don't know, it's gone up to past 1,000. Do you think it would beat the Crash Bandicoot deaths? Mr. Sholmes, tell us please, what two facts were apparent when you came to this cabin this morning? Well, first someone was dead. Ah, yes, but first, let us be precise. Two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yeah, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate the two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape for the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. Tap or whatever. That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma could have left a dying message in Russian? So if it was Kazuma that left the message, then his real message wasn't that the killer was in the wardrobe, but for people to check it because he was scared that, hey, my best friend is probably gonna die in there. I assume that will come up as soon as we go talk about his deduction. In the final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered the Gargro may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there, at least. We found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so! I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian, too? I observed you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional rest of the Russian people? I had no idea. I had no idea Detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Here, you can look at it. This was taken immediately after the young man... This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yeah, Kazuma had been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yeah, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered to the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, and I don't speak Russian. We're not speaking Russian at all. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean? That was Kazuma's, the victim. That was his katana. He was the type that said that a Japanese samurai would never go without his sword. It is his soul. So, since this was his cabin, he brought his sword with him. And they just kind of left it there, I guess. Ah, now the famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? That is a chicken bone, apparently. That was our lunch. Or dinner. Ah, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... It looks nothing like it. Revolutionary violent Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call to Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? Sounds like Mr. Sholmes concluded that he was Russian because of what Kazuma wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize the culprit of the crime was the same merciless revolutionary, one who could kill the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain! No, how could that be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Ugh, please. And, I might add, your name does not appear to be on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower? That is where Lady Brett went. Yeah, this guy is, he's a character. Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about his revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There could be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? What about the part you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. He's recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that interests with me within its pages. I see no rubbish bin nearby. So I guess your hands will have to do. The most rubbish thing I could find. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. I guess we'll give it a look. Also, anything on... Well, clearly this is already not Kazuma because his headband is not flowing in the wind. Ah, I wonder who this could be.
Ah, this is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
Nor can I.
Now look at this picture. That's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? Very pretty, isn't she? Suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know. I can't make any sense of it.
Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article.
Ah!
Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere. This Mr. Sholmes.
About the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer is reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
Because they're a bunch of gibberish. Here the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles.
How much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
Those eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the ballet. It seems that the director is beside herself with worry.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both the Miss Pavlina and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of the Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Naruhodo. Guess we'll look at this too, why not? Wait, I can't read a word of Russian.
No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says.
The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance, even though this clearly proves that neither of you are Russian. Article at the front page of the newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary Velin Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
Yeah, you told us that before.
It reveals also those that see this man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale.
Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Now, presuming the newspaper photograph was alright, wasn't he?
Solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off.
I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma? Ah yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. See, the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary.
London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes for the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see, but you didn't know we were Japanese, though. Well, you're about to know what a Sato takedown is. Sato, aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruhodo. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair.
Anyway, to return the matter of hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim, it would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as the details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. I mean, we're speaking it right now.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado, I trust you are suitably impressed. This diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. What was all that showing off about before, then? Be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are the very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. Is it a sneak? A ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumingly referring to the latest over there on the wall, which connects the adjoining cabin. Yeah, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary has been in the court record. So I believe in you given enough to consider the time being at least. Ah, do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. You might not be wrong, Flame, and that's kind of saying something, because we've had some pretty dumb characters. Certain magician comes to mind. You investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at the stagnation. We crave mental exhalation. So yes, I intend to investigate, hence the truth will become clear soon enough. You think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? Well, why? Simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, yeah. Please. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? No point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that's then, and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. Sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Rude. Naruto, what are you standing there for? Let's go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? No way I can... Hi-ya! So that's what, 4 or 5 times I've been flipped? After Kazuma spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue you're willing to give up, you're gonna roll over and accept your fate? Ugh. If you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. That's the ink that he used to write the message on the ground. And I assume what he was writing with his diary. Maybe we still have some investigation to finish off here first, don't we? Let's carry on the examining when we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. Situation doesn't look good for me. There's still things I can do to help myself. I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can do to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Is that... something wrong, Naruhodo? Oh no, it's just that the crewman's standing by the door. I have a feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes? What can I do for... Oh, it's you.
I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
Yep, of course he's here. Guys, give him the stupid gumshoe voice, because apparently he's our gumshoe. Hello again!
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
Nearly stopped, I hope.
Rude. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board this ship.
Again? Certainly seem to enjoy being undercover work, Inspector, even though you kind of suck at it.
I don't like that he's got the same exact models before. Like, he doesn't have a thing on his wrist. Why is he still holding his arm up like that? Is there anything I can do to help you? Please ask. I mean, probably. He let a murderer get away from his last job, so...
Never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation. I'm hydrated. There, I drank water. What are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? You can't speak Russian.
I mean, he can't really tell us these things. I'm so sorry.
Eh?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
For what?
My orders were to act as Azogi's bodyguard. It was the Minister of Justice, Jigoku, who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Azogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Didn't do a good job of that, did I?
Assassinated? How could that have even been a possibility?
I'm not sure. These are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities, such as assassination, apparently, of your best friend. Sorry for bringing it up.
This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I don't think you really didn't... I feel like a visible escort would kind of keep him from being assassinated. Really. It's not like people have sniper rifles at this point. And also, you couldn't sniper rifle a boat, I think.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not on this first-class deck of cards. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace! All I can do is humbly apologize.
Inspector, I mean, you didn't murder him.
Anything at all I can do to help now? Just say the word.
Well... Take these cuffs off me? Doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves.
Thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer?
Of course not! We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yeah, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed at risk to the ship's safety. You moved to even touch the handle of the cabin door? That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well.
Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm gonna need something persuasive.
What do you mean?
If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it, really. I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
Yeah, but I don't really see how.
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo, by presenting me with a piece of evidence that you had already had in your possession.
Evidence?
It was the same as when you were in court. You must have done this many times during your trial. Simply select the present panel and choose some evidence that Inspector Hosonaga could use.
Evidence that would give us a valuable reason to investigate the next door cabin, is it? Alright, yeah, I think I might know what we can use. See if the present detective with the evidence he needs to persuade the captain.
What's that?
Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Kazuma wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange.
Yeah, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. What I'd like to know is...
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector. It's almost like we just said that.
Ventilator clearly joins the next door cabin.
That's right. So if we can investigate in there, might be able to work out what the speckled band is.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. Stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Captain's given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see? I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though.
Well, what about the captain? Aren't you gonna against his direct orders?
Well, technically, I'm a man of my word, and also he's technically not my boss. I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi safe. The least I can do.
Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo. Let's move, we can leave this cabin at last. Move, alright. See what we can find out. What? I'm afraid with that we also have to move along, as I have to go find something to eat. And yeah, we know the murderer is probably Russian, or that Kazuma wrote that in Russian so that whoever did it, or found the scene of the crime, would know to open the wardrobe. Who knows though, it's probably a snake. Just saying, if we see a snake, they have to die. Because they killed our bestie. Why do all of our good friends die in these games? Or commit murder? Or are accused of murder? But either way, everybody, I think that'll be it for our Ace Attorneying for now. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the stream and my bad voices. Tomorrow will be the return of more Donkey Kongs, probably. And I might think of doing something else later, but... yeah, I'm sorry, Mimikyu. I also like Kazuma. But he had to go. He had too many death flags. Anywho, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye!